What's up guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Saman Habibi and I'm a real estate agent here in the Durham region. As always, please feel free to connect with me via my socials that we have up on the screen. And also you're going to see a barcode over here, a QR code. What you can do is you can take out your phone, scan the QR code, and you'll be able to book a one-on-one call with me to talk about what you would like to achieve when it comes to real estate. Today, we're going to be talking about moving and living in Oshawa. If you make it to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a map of Oshawa and I'm going to have each of the neighborhoods ranked from A to C, so you know that if you're looking at properties, you'll be able to look at the neighborhoods and know which areas are identified as the A-type neighborhoods and which areas are identified as the C-type neighborhoods. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about accessibility, trails and parks in Oshawa, and lastly, we're going to be talking about the price point when it comes to Oshawa. All right, so I'm going to take you to my screen and show you a map of Oshawa, and I'm going to talk about certain things that you need to be aware of. So if we look at this map, I have drawn a border around the city of Oshawa, and the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, accessibility. So if we look at my cursor, this yellow line that I'm pointing at, this is the Highway 401. And when it comes to Oshawa, we need to understand that we're located along the 401 corridor, which means we're going to be very close to jumping on the 401 wherever you are located when it comes to Oshawa. So we have the Highway 401, up north we have Highway 407, and to the west we have Highway 412, and to the east we have Highway 418. Essentially, these highway series are going to allow you to be able to commute, whether you're going from Oshawa to downtown for work or coming back home, or whether you're going to be traveling up north to go to cottage country. On the next screen, I'm going to essentially show you the certain areas of Oshawa that have employment in the area. Let's start up north. Up north, I have the logo of Ontario Tech and Durham College, and this is essentially to show where the university is located in Oshawa. But you'll also notice that University of Ontario, Ontario Tech University, also has a presence in the downtown area. In addition to that, you're going to notice where my cursor is that there's also Trent University, Oshawa campus, Mid Oshawa, so they also have a presence there as well. And you know, this goes to point to the fact that education does make up a big portion of the employment here in Oshawa, and we just wanted to point that out to you guys. In addition to that, you're going to see the Lakeridge Health Network. So Lakeridge does have a hospital in the city of Oshawa, and it does provide quite a bit of employment. In addition to Lakeridge, you're going to have GM. You know, we are known for having the manufacturing plant here in Oshawa, and they still do have a presence, and they are still manufacturing cars here. So it's great to see them, you know, back up and running. And lastly, I want to take your attention to OPG. So recently, the Ontario Power Generation did announce that they're going to be moving their head office to Oshawa, and as a result, you know, this is going to bring more employment to the area. So in terms of accessibility, we want to talk about the GO train infrastructure that's available here in Oshawa. This is important because a lot of people will be commuting downtown for work, and what I want to do is show you guys the stops that are available in the Durham region and specifically in Oshawa. So if we go back to my screen, you're going to notice that currently there is one stop in Oshawa, but there's going to be 2 additional stops coming to Oshawa as part of the Metrolinx expansion plan, one at the Thornton Corner East location and another one in the Ritson Road location. And then there's going to be an expansion to Curtis in Clarington and also another stop in Bowmanville in Clarington. So essentially, this is going to be an expansion to the current line, which is going to provide more accessibility to people who need to be commuting into work. And also on the topic of accessibility, I want to show you what the commute distance is like and the commute time is like from Oshawa to Union Station and the rest of the Durham region. So if we start from the bottom, from the Oshawa GO station, it's going to take you approximately 55 minutes on an express ride to get down to Union Station. I'd say 55 minutes to an hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes, depending on, of course, delays that are not in your control. From Whitby, it's around a 45-minute commute. From Ajax, it's a 35-minute commute. And from Pickering, it's a 25-minute commute. One of the things that I love about Oshawa and the Durham region in general is the availability of green space and trails that are there for you to just go out and discover. So I thought it'd be cool to just pull up Google Maps and let's take a look at some of these trails in the area and some that you can take advantage of. So if we go to my screen, we can start up north and kind of make our way down. So First, we'll take a look at the Harmony Valley Conservation Area. So, you know, this is an area where you can be out during the fall, during the summer months, during the spring months, just kind of going on a walk and enjoying the scenery. So here, you know, there's we're gonna go through a couple of pictures and just kind of show you, this is from August 22, show you the area that you can go and take advantage of, you know, the outdoor space that's available for you. And this is the beauty of the Durham region. You know, we still have a lot of land that's protected, which gives you the ability to go out and kind of enjoy some of these areas. The other one we can take a look at is the Oshawa Valley Conservation Area. There's also a conservation area down south as well. Some of the pictures, you know, this is from April 2022. You can see people are out and about and taking pictures and sharing it with us. What else can we take a look at? We can take a look at Lakeview Park. So the Lakeview Park is down by the water. It does have a beach. So, oh, this is a nice picture that we can take a look at. So this is the beachfront where a lot of people in the summer times will go and set up camp or set up an area by the beach to enjoy. Lakeview Park is a very popular park because this is where the Canada Day festivities happen. The Rip Fest event takes place here as well. And it's just a really cool area to just go spend some time. There are also trails here that you can walk. There's baseball diamonds, there's soccer fields that you can take advantage of, and it's just a very nice, relaxing area for you to go and enjoy. And lastly, let's talk about price, because price is one of the reasons why I think a lot of people move to the Durham region and Oshawa. And I'm gonna take you to my screen, and essentially on this screen, what I've done is I'm displaying different areas in the GTA and kind of pointing out what prices are like. So as you can see, the median price for all type of homes in Oshawa for the month of March 2023 was $775,000. If we go further west to Scarborough, that price jumps by almost $200,000, and the median price in Scarborough is $975,000. In Toronto Central, it's $900,000, Mississauga $916,000, Oakville $1.391. Burlington, $945,000. You know, Oshawa in the Durham region has been very popular for many people, whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're an upsize buyer, and that's because of the affordability factor. So here we just want to display, you know, when we kind of compare, the next cheapest town is probably, you know, around 150 to 200K more expensive. So hey, if you can afford it and you want to be there, great. But in the Durham region, you do have the affordability factor coupled with the green space and all the other amenities that you can take advantage of. So on the topic of price, I think it's good to pull up a property and kind of take you through the property from a price perspective, from a down payment perspective, and kind of talk about how much cash you need to be able to move into one of these properties. So what I have here is a semi-detached property that I recently sold in Oshawa. The purchase price on this property was $840,000. What I want to do is take you through a scenario of, you know, what the numbers would look like if you were a first-time home buyer, or what the numbers would look like if you were a step-up buyer. So let's go through the first-time home buyer numbers first. So purchase price $840,000. Your down payment, if you're a first-time home buyer, would be around $59,000. And that essentially works out to be 5% on the first $500,000 and 10% on the remaining, up to $999,000. Your land transfer tax would be a total of $9,275. And that includes the $4,000 rebate that you get as a first-time home buyer. Your legal, title insurance, and miscellaneous expenses, $2,000. So your total closing fees or cash needed upfront would be around $72,000. We have to keep in mind that if you put less than 20% down, there's going to be mortgage loan insurance of $31,240, which you can pay for that cash, or you can put that on your mortgage and amortize it over the 25-year period. If you were a step-up buyer, so let's say you have a townhouse that you've sold and you want to buy something bigger, you would be putting down 20% on this property. So when we take a look at the numbers, on an $840,000 purchase, the 20% down payment would be $168,000. The land transfer tax would be $13,275. Your legal fees, title insurance, $2,000. So your total closing fees would be $183,275. See quite a bit of difference here in terms of cash required, but the idea would be that if you're a step-up buyer, you have some equity from a house that you're selling to be able to take and put towards your next purchase. And as promised, if you've made it this far in the video, I'm going to show you a map of Oshawa, and I'm going to show you how I like to grade these areas from A to C. A being the most desirable and the most in demand, and C being the least desirable. So let's just take a look at the screen and go through these areas. So essentially, if we start at the top, we have the North Glen, Centennial, and Pinecrest areas, along with McLaughlin, Eastdale, and Donovan. These are areas that I would label as A+ type neighborhoods. There is heavy pride of ownership in these areas. Typically, there's a mixture of bungalows, semis, detached, and larger detached properties in these areas. It's just been a very desirable, and I think the desirability comes from the fact that when you drive around, you really do see the pride of ownership. You're going to notice that in the Centennial area, there's a small area that I've labeled as C, and that's because in some of these areas, there are larger apartment buildings, and we just know that apartment buildings typically have more of a rental type ownership in the area. So there's a bit more renters in the area, and with that comes lower income families as well. So, you know, it's not to say that it's a bad thing. I think it's just to point to the fact that it does have some rentals in the area. If we take a look at the B type neighborhoods, we have O'Neill, Vanier, and Farewell. You know, these are areas where the types of homes are a bit older. So you have homes that were built in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s. They're your 1.5, 2-story homes that are, of course, coming to the later half of the ownership. And you know, hey, in these neighborhoods, you're still going to have pockets that are A-type neighborhoods. But in my opinion, you know, this is the trend that I've noticed. They're a bit less desirable, and you know, and it's mainly due to the location factor of it as well. In the Vanier neighborhood, you'll see that Vanier is a B-type neighborhood, but there is a red rectangle that has a C associated with it. And again, it goes back to some of these areas being a bit more located to the downtown location. And we know that around the downtown area, the homeless population is greater. You do see that. So this area that I've highlighted in the Vanier Central neighborhood with a red rectangle, we do see a bit of that homelessness population, and that's why I've called it a C-type neighborhood. But again, you know, you are going to notice pockets in the Central and Lakeview neighborhood that are great. I have an investment property in the Central area on Central Park Boulevard South, and you know, it's a wonderful street. So I think when it comes to areas to avoid, you really want to make sure that you're working with a professional who knows the area and who can point out certain streets to avoid. And you know, they can take you to these streets and show you why they're not as desirable, right? So just keep that in mind. Make sure that whoever you're working with is from the area, knows the area, and can explain, you know, what is good and what is bad. So in conclusion, we've been able to take a look at a map of Oshawa and what Oshawa has to offer. We spoke about the accessibility factor. We spoke about the conservation, the trails, and the beach area in the region. And we also spoke about price and why it has been very popular because of the fact that it has affordability factors compared to the rest of the GTA. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video on moving and living in Oshawa. If you have any questions, my QR code is here. Again, you can take out your phone, scan the QR code with your camera, and you can book a 15-minute call with me, and we can talk about any questions that you have about this video, about the Durham region, about Oshawa, and we can talk about what you'd like to achieve.